So then, should this be the cheap line venture to Stoke? What a fucking shithole this is. So there's a little tiny village in Medway. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's not even the main part of Medway. It's on the Isle of Grain. It's the Grain Peninsula. It's quite a way out of Medway. There's this villages and countryside. There's literally nothing here. It's mud. It's just boring. Yet it's got an airport. But this airport, it's rather strange. Because the grass runway and the runway is curved. It's a really fucking weird airport. But who would want to come here? Imagine going on a cheap flight adventure to Stoke. Actually, you know what? Just for fun of it, shall we do it? So let's say I've just pulled into his airport on an airplane. And guess what, everyone? It's now a cheap line venture to Stoke. What will I find here? Well, let's explore the area and find out. So then, let's go and look at the airport terminal of Stoke Airport. And that is it. Just that. Actually, no, not even that. Because that's the cafe. The airport terminal is next to it. I think is it just that there? Is that the airport terminal? I'm not sure. That looks like a hangar. Maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure, but that is all there is. So when you come in for your departure from Stoke, you just turn up to this little tiny shed, and that's where you have to check in. I would say get your bags x-rayed, but I don't think I've got an x-ray machine here, so you can take whatever you want on the aeroplane, unlike most airports. And that's it. That's literally the departures terminal for the airport. It is tiny. And despite being in the middle of nowhere, Stoke Airport actually has a railway line. But it doesn't have a train station, so no trains stop here. Even though if it did have a train service, it would take you straight to Gravesend, where you could then change to the high speed to London, so it would actually be quite a good railway line for an airport. But no, the trains just pass by, and its only freight on this line is the line over to Grain, and it's on a token. So there's a railway, but it's a very infrequently used railway. Only a couple of freight trains each day use it. And in Stoke Airport, there's no fence on the runway. Anyone could walk onto the runway and get run over by an aeroplane. Although not that many planes depart here, probably only a couple of flights an hour. That is literally the runway, and yes, it's made of grass. But that is actually a runway. It's weird, and anyone could walk on it. Anyone could just go and trespass on the runway and get run over by whatever airplane departs next, which I don't think it's going to be an airplane here for quite a long time. So it's hard to show this on camera, but this runway is curved. You can see it on Google Maps, you can definitely see the curve in it. So you look this way, the runway is there, that bit's there, that bit there is the taxiway on the right. So the runway's on the left past all the hangars, and that goes round, then that's on a slight curve around that way. It's a 500-metre runway, right by pylons, and the pylons on the outer edge of the curve. So when you're coming into land at the runway, if you don't steer a plane into the curve to match the curve of the runway, you'll fall into the 400-volt pylon. And also it's quite windy, and the wind is pushing the planes towards the 400,000 volt pylon. Lovely. You can actually see there's a curve. Going around there's a curve, and down to there. Oh yes, you can see the curve in that runway. A beautiful curve, which if you mess up on and you don't fly it correctly or the wind pushes you, you end up in the pylon. And in this plane shed, notice they've matched it to the shape of an aeroplane. So the door opens with those glass bits open where the wings are of a plane. So the shed is exactly the shape of the aeroplane to go in. I actually like that. And here is an aeroplane, a very small one. How many seats is that? I can't even tell how many people is that. 4 seats? 2 seats? I don't know, not many people get in that. So, when you come to Stoke on your cheap flight adventure, what is there to do? Well, you go on some absolutely trashed boats. Look at that absolute shithole. All trash. And you can look at the mud. And one thing you can't see on camera is the smell. And this mud of this river stinks. It's really smelly here. Look at this marina. Trashed boat, more trash boats, another trash boat. That one looks like it's about to sink, but that one over there's already sunk. That one there looks appalling out there. And you've got the slightly less trashed ones, which are people living, but it's still very trashed looking. So the runway comes round here, then it gets very messed up, but that's actually beyond the end of the runway. There's no clear marker for the end, but the runway actually ends about there. Somewhere around about there's a number marking the end of the runway. That is confusing because you've been departing off that runway and not realising that's the end, because it looks like it doesn't finish there. The end is invisible. It's a virtual line, an invisible line marking the end. And if you carry on down the runway, whoopsie, it's not going to go very well. So it's now runway trespass time. Yay! So runway goes right past the hangars, so if you take your airplane out of the hangar and don't look where you're going, your airplane will just crash into one landing, or if you take a tractor out, it'll also just crash into one landing, because for some reason the taxiway on the right doesn't have hangars, but the runway itself you open directly into from your hangar is the runway. And here is the boats. Oh, look at his pier, that's going to collapse at any moment. That feels like it's about to collapse. Oh, that looks rusty, this is going to collapse. Private property, not responsible for injuries, which actually has no legal standing in UK law. So, oh fuck, I just dipped. As I stepped over that, you're going to fall in that water soon, that's going to collapse. But then going around here, actually this gets even worse, this pier. Look at that. That is falling apart. Now that's your boat, so if you want to live on a boat, which looks like it's about to sink at any second, this is the place to do so. That looks expensive. One day in the past, but not anymore. And oh, that looks even, look at that gangway. That looks really bad. Wow. Interesting, I do like it, even though it's rough. I like things rough, so I actually quite like it, but I wouldn't want to live here on any of these. It's characterful, like I wouldn't be too rude about it, because I do like the character of the place. It's very sort of interesting looking. Don't jump on the bridge, walk very gently across the bridge, it's about to collapse. Our Sib's seen better days. Not that different to my one actually, it's got a metal floor. It would be a nice Sib, but I think it's a bit beyond repair now. Actually, all these boats have seen better days. Look at that one. That needs a lot of work doing on that. Oh, it's making me feel hungry. I haven't had horse burger for ages. Horse burger tastes far better than beef. And I'm actually being serious saying that. Horse burger generally does taste better than beef. Oh, this is making me want to get on an airplane back to Slovenia. Hold on, why don't I go to Stoke Airport and jump on a plane? Oh, wait, I don't actually fly that far from Stoke Airport. You're never going to believe what I've just found. I found Stoke swimming pool. Look at that. That's amazing. I'd love to go to swim in that disgusting looking pool. That's even more disgusting than a hot tub I saw in Bulgaria. Look at that swimming pool. That is so grim. So, even though it looks like I'm in a shithole village in the middle of nowhere, guess what? I'm actually at a holiday resort destination, because Stoke actually has a beach resort. It's like I'm in Spain, just without the weather, because it's freezing cold here, and without anything else you'd expect to find in Spain. But ignoring that detail, it's like I'm in Spain. There's a beach resort in Stoke. Let's go and explore it. So, this is Stoke Village. Well, actually there's 3 Stoke villages: Upper Stoke, Middle Stoke and Lower Stoke. Stoke was so good I had to build 3 of them. This is Middle Stoke and it's a fucking shithole. But we're going to leave Stoke and go to the beach resort at All Hallows. So then I now head 2 miles north from Stoke Airport to All Hallows, and let's take a look at the Haven Resort. Now I don't know why they decided to build a holiday resort in All Hallows. It is the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the countryside, a very remote part of Medway, a very long way from the towns themselves. And as a holiday, there's nothing to do here outside of the resort itself. It's such a weird crap place to go on holiday. Anyway, let's take a look around. So the speed limit is 9 3/4 miles an hour. And that's just to make it more memorable, so it sticks in people's mind more, so I obey it more. That's the only reason I think of having it as 9 3/4. Like, why would you have that as the speed limit? Or is it Harry Potter? Yeah, Harry Potter, isn't it? Oh dear. That is not the most stable thing I've ever seen. That is definitely not the most stable thing. These are expensive. Like in Spain, you could probably get one of these for almost nothing. You get a really nice holiday resort with a nice swimming pool, you get everything. Here, you get a very small, extremely cold pool with appallingly bad weather and 20,000 one of these second hand. And now I'm going to find out what one of these new is, and it will shock you. Considering that this is not a particularly nice beach resort. It's cold, it's wet most of the time. Like 1-2 months a year, this would be nice. You do not get much for your money. But just wait till you see the prices. Would you like a house that could suddenly fall down any second? Look at how it's supported on breeze blocks. How's that not fall down? Imagine if you had children there jumping about, they'd probably knock it off his blocks and suddenly bang, your house falls over. Now, if I gave that a push, would that fall over? I reckon if you gave that a kick, the whole thing would just fall off its stands. AstroTurf. And this is the ones that are for sale. So this is the ones they're trying to sell. So then, if we now take a look at prices, this is the part where it's scary. It is so expensive for a location that is not good, and for facilities which are nowhere near comparable to other places in the world, such as Spain. So this one is £60,000, but I guess a lot worse than that. This one is £75,000. And this one is £91,500. And the thing is, these actually technically do not count as properties. They count as caravans. They count as vehicles, which is why there's no foundations to it. They're just propped up a little tiny stand for that reason. And that's for taxation reasons, to get around having to pay tax. But as well as that, you're not allowed to stay in your caravan through the winter. You have to vacate it. And that's also for tax reasons. And that's so it doesn't count as a property. Oh, and by the way, they claim that these caravans can last up to 20 years. But in reality, you'd have to be extremely meticulously careful to keep it in great condition for it to last that long. For most people, they'd struggle to get 15 years out of these. And if we now take a look at its promotional bit of their website where they're trying to sell it, and even this is not good value, even if you manage to get these figures. Your holiday home from £20,000, but that's for a second-hand one. And that's already going to be a few years old, so it's not going to last that long. But the brand new ones cost far more than that. Then you've got your site fees from £4,645 a year, but notice the word from, it's most likely going to be a lot more than that. Then you've got your running costs from £1,206 a year, and that's based on you only using it as a holiday thing, that you don't go there that often. If you actually more want to use it more like a home and live in it for longer time periods, it's going to cost you a lot more than that. So it's not good value for money. Okay, if you were to compare it to like an expensive part of London where things are really expensive, okay, it's cheaper than that. But this is for the middle of nowhere. This is not how much you should be spending to live in the middle of the shithole countryside. And if you wanting to use this as a holiday home rather than somewhere to actually live, but then you're still spending the money of actually having your own property as a second home rather than one of these very temporary things. And if this is what you really wanted, you might as well go to Spain, where you get far better weather and cheaper costs. Anyway, let's take a look around one of these caravans. So this is the properties they're trying to sell. Shall I have a look inside and see what it's like on the inside? Like outside you can see it looks really crap outside, but inside it actually looks quite reasonable. So then, looking at the inside, it looks very modern for how insubstantial I look on the outside. The interiors are really good. Like very, well, it's brand new. We're obviously trying to sell it, so they make it look its best. Sofas over there, you've got cabinets up there, microwave there, sink, there's your kitchen. It's stupidly overpriced, but nevertheless the interiors look good. Other than the bedrooms are absolutely tiny. Look how cramped that is. 2 beds in there and then a double bed in there, but those are really, that's narrow. Like, I don't even realise quite how narrow that is. If I slept on it, I'd probably roll off. That is such a narrow bed. I guess that's just for children, that room, because that is so narrow. But even that double bed, trying to fit 2 people onto that, like, it's smaller than it looks. But even though it looks nice, you quickly see it's insubstantial. Like these panels, that is really cheap. That door's cheap. So it's one of these things where it'll look nice when you buy it for about 2-3 years, and it'll be really nice. And after that, it'll fall apart. Like, it's not going to last. It will literally just fall to pieces really quickly. What's in this room? There are 2 more beds. This sleeps 6 people. I didn't expect that. I guess that's very cramped. If you've got this one, £10,000-20,000, I'd say that's probably worth it. But they're selling these for more like 60,000-80,000, which is just stupid for what you get. Oh, and by the way, if you are ever considering this as an investment, the park owners, Haven, actually openly admit that it's not an investment because your property will fall apart. You've got Burger King. That's new. I didn't used to have that. Now I want to see if this is regular prices or if they charge more. 20 nuggets and Burger King's usually £7. £7.29. A little tiny bit more. Like McDonald's is like £5.99, depending on McDonald's. Occasionally you get it for £5.69. Burger King is usually about £6.99, £7, so very slightly more, but that's pretty much a going rate. So inside it looks like this. It's all very noisy. Like this section here, I've replaced all of this. All the machines in here used to be really bad and falling apart. I have replaced them with all new stuff, which is a good thing. So then we now go to the swimming pool. Now I sneaked into this pool a couple of years back, and this was one of the coldest pools I've ever sneaked into, and I did this in the middle of August. It's really warm weather, yet the water was freezing. The pool was absolutely appallingly cold. Like, it was so cold I couldn't even stay in it for long. Like, considering the high price they charge for this place, it was just not acceptable. Like, I'm not trying to say the place overall is bad. What I'm saying is, for the price they charge for what you get, you really got very little. But they are now rebuilding the swimming pool, so maybe that means they'll build a better and warmer pool. So you've got an indoor area, that's the indoor pool in that section. This is the outdoor pool. Both use the same water, so both are the same temperature. And the fact they're doing works on it, maybe I'll improve it, maybe I'll make it warmer. But my review is based on when I did sneak in, which was about 5 years ago before COVID. Back then it was just unacceptable, so let's hope they do improve it and make it a bit better. We are building a bigger, better pool, and I would be interested to see how that turns out, because that pool desperately needed replacing. Now previously this used to have that really cheap mass catering, like the really horrid, nasty, cheap food. It was really appallingly bad, but they're improving it. They've got Wetherspoons, they've now got Papa John's, and now got Burger King. They are improving this place, which is a good thing, but nevertheless it's still overpriced. They charge absolute fortune for a quality of resort which is nowhere near as good as Spain's. Hey, this looks nice, but it's all AstroTurf. The whole thing is AstroTurf, it's not real grass. All of it, the whole thing. Which is just weird. Like, all of this is looking a bit better than last time. Like, last time I came here, it was so dilapidated. Words could not describe how bad it was for the money you get last time. 5 years ago, people were paying good money to stay in a place which was literally falling down and falling apart. Like, I like the fact they've repaired it, so that's good. They've made it a lot nicer, but it's still not good enough. Not compared with what you get in another country. So then, as this is a beach resort, shall we take a look at the beach? Now this is the part that really lets it down. This utter shit. The beach here is very grim. So I actually get to call it a beach resort, even though it's mainly stones with a little tiny bit of sand, located in amongst all of the disgusting river mud of the Thames and Medway rivers. It is really grim. In terms of the beach, this is one of the worst beach resorts I've ever seen.